Ang tawag dito, nasa na ba tayo kanina? Yeah. So, bakit nyo kailangan mag-aral ng electronics, physics? Ano sa tingin ninyo? So, ito yung isa sa mga courses na medyo hindi medyo hindi parang hindi talaga physics, 'di ba? Yung dating kasi mostly sa ibang physics courses ninyo nag-solve kayo ng mga equations, 'di ba? Pero dito medyo naka-focus siya dun sa electronics, sa pag-solve ng voltages, 'di ba? Currents, resistances, capacitances, and so on and so forth. Okay, so bakit nyo tingin kailangan mag-aral ng electronics physics? Well, ang electronics physics is really fundamental. Okay, tawag dito, lahat ng electronic devices, okay, ay tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, composed of or built up of yung transistor devices. Okay, and this is the first transistor. Okay, and that's about siguro about 5 centimeters yata yung taas niyan. Okay, so ganyan kalaki yung unang-unang transistor na na-build. Okay, and ngayon, you can fit millions of transistors on the same size. Okay, five centimeters, millions and millions of transistors. Okay, so because of technology, okay, nakadevelop ng way para papalitin yung mga transistors na yan. Okay, so explain ko later kung paano nag-work yung transistor na yan, pero basically it's just a way to control yung current. Okay, so if you have a current flowing through a device, this here is a way to control how much current is can be allowed through, or if you want the current to stop. Okay. So, yun yung ginagawa ng transistor. Okay. And now, ganito na yung itsura ng transistor. Well, not exactly that, but this is just one type of transistor. Okay. And this transistor is the size, is in the order of nanometers. Okay. So, nanometers is 10 to the minus 9 meters. So, from 5 centimeters, ngayon ay nandoon na sa around hundreds of nanometers or even tens of nanometers. Okay. So pinag-aaralan natin yan kasi it's the basic building device for any electronic device. And napaka-rich ng physics ng transistors. Sa Physics 183, when you study solid state physics, babalikan niyo yung physics ng mga transistors na ito. Okay, in a deeper tawag dito, in a deeper matter. Okay, okay, wait, sandali lang. Okay. Okay. And ngayon, isa pang rason kung bakit kayo nag-aaral ng electronics physics is because of yung advent ng mga machine learning and quantum computing. So, itong nakikita niyo dito sa pinaka-left, okay, yan yung itsura ng refrigerator, okay, na nagko-cool down sa isang quantum computer. Okay, so ang quantum computer is actually placed right here, dito sa maliit na area na yan. Okay, and what a quantum computer looks like is this. Okay, so this is a single qubit, a quantum bit na quantum computer. Okay, and itong line lang na ito is about it's in the order of nanometers. So between one or in the order of 1/10 nanometers. Okay, so nandun siya sa size na yan. So ganyan kaliit yung ano na yan, yung tawag dito, yung line na yan. Okay. Okay, or yung material na yan. Okay, and itong buong device is called a superconducting quantum interference device. And it acts to control yung current in exactly the same way as a transistor does. But kaya ito tinawag na single electron pair box is because you actually put in one electron at a time dun sa tinatawag na Cooper pair box. And sa Cooper Bear box na yan, you create itong mga quantum states. And itong quantum states na yon yung nagde-determine ng quantum bits. Okay, so kung medyo abstract pa sa inyo itong idea na to, huwag kayong mag-alala. Ako din yung nagtuturo ng quantum physics. So it may be, tawag dito, it may be fortunate na ako yung nagtuturo ng both 173 at 181. Okay, now, bakit nyo kailangan mag-aral ng electronics physics? Because to understand itong physics ng, ng quantum computer, you need also to understand yung electronics. Okay, so, this part here, this superconducting quantum interference device, okay, can be modeled, or sorry, yung Cooper pair box can be modeled with this simple na circuit na parallel na capacitance at saka yung Cooper pair box. Okay? So, lahat actually ng gagawin ninyo okay, ay nangangailangan ng knowledge sa electronics physics, sa fundamentals ng electronics. And that's why you need to study electronics physics. Okay? So, yun yung motivation kung bakit natin inaaral yung electronics physics. Okay, so now, let's start with the lessons. Share screen. Okay. Okay. Tawag dito. Once nyo pa lang ako naging teacher, no? Pero I don't like to miss classes. Okay. Especially pag first semester. Kasi um, alam naman natin na maraming possible suspension ng classes dahil sa bagyo. So we anticipate instead of reacting. Okay? So we anticipate na may bagyo na paparating. And that's why we are going to hold as much as classes as we can. Okay, habang hindi buwabagyo. Okay? So yeah, so that's why we're starting with the lessons today. Okay, so yung lesson natin ngayong araw is about DC circuits. Okay, sige, bigyan ko kayo ng siguro couple of minutes to pull out your notebooks. Okay. Sige. Yeah. Sige, couple of minutes. Okay, so you ready? Okay, sige. So the first DC circuit na pag-aaralan natin ay tinatawag na voltage divider. Okay, so ganito ay nagdi-divide ng voltage. Naririnig niyo ba ako? Thumbs up nga kung naririnig niyo ako. Okay, sige, thank you. May nagpa-pop up kasi na message dito sa screen. Okay, so Paano nag-work ang voltage divider? So, ang voltage divider ay isa sa mga basic na circuits na kailangan yung matutunan. Kasi maraming applications itong voltage divider na ito. At gagamitin natin to throughout the whole SEM. It may be obvious and it may be not so obvious. It may be hidden then. Okay, pero as long as you understand kung paano structure nung voltage divider, then you should be able to see yung voltage divider circuit sa ibang mga advanced circuits na pag-aaralan nyo in the later. Okay, so paano nako-construct ang voltage divider? So you have this um, first of all, syempre may voltage source ka. And since we're talking about DC sources, then yung voltage source mo ay DC. So that's a DC source na ang magnitude ay 10 volts. Secondly, to implement the voltage divider circuit, kailangan mo ng dalawang resistors. Okay, so ito yung resistor 1, tsaka ito yung resistor 2. Okay, and okay, wala. Then, sandali lang. Okay, okay, then ang gagawin natin is we're going to take the output from one of the resistors. Okay, in this case, it's the output across resistor na R2. R2. So pag sinabi natin tinitake natin yung output sa isang resistor, what we're going to do is to measure yung voltage across the resistor. Okay, so we identify yung isang terminal as point A. So yun yung point A. Okay, and then dito natin from point A with respect to the reference, okay, kukunin yung or i-measure yung voltage across R2. Okay? And itong circuit na dito sa left is an unloaded circuit. Okay? On the other hand, itong circuit na nasa right is loaded circuit. And pag sinabing loaded, okay, ibig sabihin meron kayong device na nakakonect dun sa voltage divider nyo. Okay? Ano yung device niyan? It could be any device. Okay? So for example, meron kayong charger. Okay, yung charger, isasaksak nyo siyempre sa plug, di ba? Then, yung charger nyo actually is a voltage divider. Bakit siya nag-act as a voltage divider? Kasi yung output ng plug ninyo is 220 volts. Okay, and it's also AC, di ba? 220 volts na AC na plug. Ngayon, yung output naman sa charger ninyo is what? 5 volts or 12 volts na DC current. Okay, direct current. Okay, so first of all, it ang tawag doon is rectifies. So it converts AC to DC. So may rectification na nangyayari. Okay, and then it also divides the voltage from 220 volts to 12 volts. Okay, yun yung ginagawa ng voltage divider. So it reduces yung output across the resistor, okay, from 10 volts to some output. Pag hindi pa nakasaksak yung ano nyo, yung cellphone nyo dun sa charger, yun yung isang example ng unloaded na circuit. Pero once na isaksak nyo yung cellphone ninyo dun sa charger, then you're actually loading the voltage divider circuit that is in the charger. Okay, or that is your charger. Okay, now, anong effect? Anong effect nun? Yung cellphone ninyo, meron niyang resistance. Okay, you can prove that, okay, by taking a voltmeter, iset nyo sa resistance, tawag dito sa resistance setting, and then ilagay nyo lang yung ano, yung probe dun sa dalawang sa inputs nung cellphone. That's quite hard to do. Okay, kasi medyo maliit yung mga ng mga cellphone, di ba? At saka yung iba medyo flat, so iba yung design. Okay, pero if you can do that, then you will be able to measure a resistance of that device. So lahat ng devices ay merong resistance na gano'n. And that's the load resistance. And when you include a load, mag-iiba yung voltage output as we will see here dito sa circuit. So let's consider muna yung case na unloaded yung circuit. Okay, so pag unloaded, okay, what we need to do, okay, so in both cases, what we need to do is to compute for the voltage across R2. Okay, so for an unloaded circuit, okay, so paano natin kukunin yung voltage across R2? Okay, so we know na yung output voltage, okay, ay equal sa current through R2 times yung resistance R2. Okay, now, how do we solve for the current? Well, if you use Kirchhoff's rules, okay, so ano ba magandang gamitin na kulay dito? Yeah. So if you use Kirchhoff's rules, okay, and you use Kirchhoff's voltage rule, okay, and you use this clockwise, okay, na direction ng current, then okay, ang makukuha natin for that is 10 volts minus, okay, yung current through R1, okay, minus yung current through R1 times R1 minus yung current through R2 times R2. And that is equal to 0 according to Kirchhoff's voltage rule. Okay, yung current dito sa R1 at saka sa R2, okay, ay equal. Bakit equal? Kasi pareho silang, kasi naka-series sila. Okay? Okay, so dahil naka-series sila, yung current ay equal through both resistances. Okay? So again, pag meron kayong tanong just actually turn on your mic kasi hindi ko nakikita yung Zoom. Nakatingin ako dun sa notes ko. Okay, just turn on your mic and then ask your question. Okay, so ang gagawin natin ngayon is i-isolate natin itong current. So current, okay, so sige, gawin natin step by step. So 10 volts minus I times R1 plus R2 is equal to 0. Now we can isolate yung current. So current is equal to 10 volts, okay, over R1 plus R2. Okay, now we can generalize this, okay, para lang ang discussion natin ay anong tawag dito? Ay hindi lang limited sa 10 volts. So we can say na input voltage, at saka input voltage. So this is our input voltage. Yan yung V out. Okay. So now we replace yung current, okay, dito. Okay, and we get for V out. Oops. At ang makukuha natin sa V out ngayon is yung current is V in over R1 plus R2 and then multiplied by R2. Or if we simplify that, then we have V out is equal to R2 over R1 plus R2 times V input. Okay, so that's your voltage divider na equation. Okay. Now, it's actually quite simple, okay, to remember, I hope. Kasi wherever you are taking, kung ano man yung resistor na pinagkukunan nyo ng output, yun yung ilalagay nyo sa numerator. Okay, so this is the output voltage across resistor R2. So if, for example, if you want to take the output voltage across R1, okay, you can go through all these process. Okay, and you'll be able to derive na yung voltage across R1 is simply R1 over R1 plus R2 times Vn. Okay, kasi this time, if you're looking at the voltage across R1, so you're actually measuring, okay, yung output dito. Okay, from here with respect to this point. Okay, so yun yung voltage across R1. And yung voltage across R1 is given by this. Okay? So lahat yan ay given kasi yung resistance values parati namang given yan, di ba? Kasi yun yung available sa laboratory. And then of course yung input, kayo naman nagsiset ng input na na voltage, right? Okay. Um, okay. Okay, so any questions at this point? Okay, um, so yan yung case pag unloaded yung ano, yung circuit. Okay? Okay. Now, ano mangyayari pag loaded na yung circuit? So that's the unloaded. So pag loaded, ano na ngayon ang mangyayari? Okay. You're still taking the voltage across between this point and the ground. Okay. But this time, you have two resistors, yung R2 at saka RL, that are in parallel. Okay, sa isa't isa. So, let's say, tawagin natin tong parallel resistance nila as R equivalent. Okay. Now, we're going to use this notation, okay, um, throughout the whole SEM. Okay. Nandoon din yung notation na to dun sa book. Okay. So, R2 parallel to RL. Okay. Ibig sabihin lang yan, it's just 1 over R2 plus 1 over RL. Okay. And then raised to the minus 1. Okay. So, yung inverse. Okay, no. Um, okay. So, yun yung magiging change dito. So, now our voltage divider equation ngayon, so this is the V out across R equivalent, is equal to uh, R equivalent over R1 plus R2. Okay, times V in. Okay? Okay, so yan yung ating voltage divider pag voltage output pag loaded yung circuit. Okay, now anong effect niyan? Okay, remember na yung pag meron kang parallel resistances na ganyan, yung equivalent na resistance is always less than R2 at saka RL. Okay? So it's always less than R2 tsaka RL. So if we compare this output with this output, okay, dito sa output na to, meron kayong R2 at dito na sa output na to, meron kayong R equivalent. Okay, then that means na yung V out ng loaded, okay, will always be less than V out ng unloaded. So this is the loaded and this is unloaded. Okay, so what happens is pag niload nyo na yung circuit nyo, okay, ibig sabihin nababawasan yung output na voltage. Okay, so ano implication nun sa ano sa inyo? Okay, sa practical sa pang-araw-araw na buhay, di ba? So ibig sabihin pala, yung yung charger ninyo na supposedly 12 volts yung output, okay, na binibigay niya, okay, ay nagbibigay lang ng less than 12 na na tawag dito na 12 volts na voltage dun sa inyong cellphone. Okay? Um, so, ibig sabihin, na-charge ba ng maayos yung cellphone ninyo? Kasi hindi pala, less than 12 volts pala yung binibigay. Di ba? Anong tawag dito? Nung charger ninyo. Well, there's a way to fix that. Okay? And the way to fix that is to make sure na yung equivalent na resistance, okay, Sorry, hindi equivalent na resistance. Yung load resistance is at least 10 times greater than R2. Okay, so bakit 10 times greater? Okay, so kung titignan nyo rito sa equation sa ano na to, sa equation na ito, okay, if it is 10 times, okay, so yung R equivalent nyo ngayon magiging 1 over R2 plus 1 over 10 R2. Okay, and then kunin niyo yung inverse niyan. So this will be R2 times 1 plus, ano bang 1/10? It's 0.1. Okay, so this will be approximately 1.1 R2. Okay, so it's very, very near R2. So sabi ko naman, ang condition is at least 10 times. Okay, and if you do that, okay, you're sure na yung equivalent resistance ay medyo malapit na dun sa unloaded na case. Okay? So, yun yung isang condition. You ensure that the load resistance is greater than or equal to at least 10 times R2. Now, teka lang, yung cellphone na yan, ginagawa yan ng manufacturer. So, ibig sabihin, yung resistance na nandiyan dyan, is already, anong tawag dito? Is already designed, di ba? Hindi mo na pwedeng baguhin yung resistance nung output dun sa cellphone eh. So, anong babaguhin nyo? Well, that's how, ang approach is to design the voltage divider in such a way na yung R2, okay, in such a way na ma-satisfy itong equation na ito. So you're actually designing the voltage divider uh, para i-adjust yung R2. So ang ina-adjust niyo dyan yung R2. Okay? So para masatisfy itong yung condition na yan. Okay? And yun. So yun yung ginagawa ginagawa sa mga electrical engineers. So they design these things, they use a voltage divider circuit, and they determine kung ano yung tamang value ng R1 at R2 such that this condition is satisfied depending on yung device na paggagamitan. Okay? And this also tells us something. Okay? So you cannot use yung mga chargers ninyo sa kahit ano na lang na na devices. Okay? In other words, kung yung isang charger ninyo ay designed for a specific tawag dito for a specific cellphone and you use the same charger to another cellphone na iba yung internal resistance, iba yung resistance dun sa output, then it could be na yung cellphone ninyo ay yung cellphone na yon na hindi designed for that charger ay mag-overheat. Okay? Kasi nagte-take in siya ng either more current or either most probably more current. Okay? Than it should. Okay? So, yun yung ano dyan, yun yung idea dyan. Okay? So, when you design a voltage divider circuit, it's for a specific load resistance. Okay? Okay. So, let's also take a look at yung physics, okay, dito sa circuit. Okay. So, without the load resistance, then yung current mo ay the same, di ba? Dito. It's given by this equation. Okay. Okay. Tapos, with the load resistance, yung current mo is I dito, pero yung total current is of course I, pero mababawasan yung current dito sa R2 at yung current dun sa RL. Okay? And if yung RL is at least 10 times greater than R2, then yung current dito is only 1/10 of the current here. Yes, tama. Okay, so you still get the same output voltage, okay, across these two terminals, okay, compared to the unloaded case. Okay? So yun yung gusto nyong gawin. So you want to maintain yung output voltage dito even if there's a load resistance there. Okay, so but you also want to give a sufficient amount of current kasi sabi nga natin 1/10 lang yung current na ito dito sa current na nandito. Okay, 1/10 ito dito sa current na nandito or sa current na ito. Okay? So yun yung crucial dun sa design. So, you want to know yung first of all yung load resistance dito, and then you also want to know how fast you want to charge your device. And the way to determine how fast you want to charge your device is to solve for the power, di ba? P is equal to I squared R. And to solve for the power, kailangan mo malaman kung ano yung current. So you also need to determine kung ano yung current na dito, but yung current has to only to be 1/10 of the current that passes through here. So it's not as easy as you think to design or it's not as simple, okay, as it would seem to design yung isang voltage divider na circuit. Okay? Okay. So, tawag dito. I hope na na-get niyo, nakuha niyo yung concept na yon, okay, at yung physics na involved dito sa discussion na ito. Are there any questions at this point before we move on to to the next to the next type of circuit? Okay, wala. Okay. Sige. So of course, magso-solve tayo ng problems related to voltage divider circuit and magde-design kayo ng voltage divider circuit din. And you have to consider itong mga bagay nito when designing a voltage divider circuit. Okay? So yung R2 and then yung current na dumadaan through RL. Okay. Sige. The next type of circuit ay yung tinatawag na Wheatstone bridge. This is also one of the fundamental circuits na makikita nyo sa maraming applications. Okay, yung Wheatstone na bridge. Now, uh, itong Wheatstone na bridge is also a voltage divider circuit. Diba sabi ko lang kanina na ang voltage divider circuit is ubiquitous, di ba? Ibig sabihin, makikita niyo yan sa lahat ng mga applications. Okay? And dito pa lang sa Wheatstone Bridge, sa next na circuit na pinag-aaral ninyo, nandiyan dyan na yung voltage divider. Asan ang voltage divider dyan? Okay, well, we actually have two voltage dividers. Okay? So ito yung isang line, okay? At ito yung pangalawang line. Okay? Wait lang. Sorry, may mga urgent kasi na ano na concerns. Okay. So, tawag dito, dalawang voltage divider. Okay, in parallel. Okay. So, ang Wheatstone Bridge, okay, so tignan muna natin yung output dun sa Wheatstone Bridge. Now, where do you take the output dun sa Wheatstone Bridge? Tinitake niyo yung output between this point, which is point A, and this point, which is point B. Okay? Okay, so how do you get yung output, okay, between point A and B? Okay, so VAB, okay, is the difference between VB and VA. Okay, so ang VB, okay, is tawag dito, yung voltage at this point with respect to ground. Okay, so ground ito. Yan, ground yan. Okay, and ang VA is the voltage with respect to ground. Okay. So, ang difference ngayon ng VB at saka ng VA ay yung VAB, which is yung output ng Wheatstone bridge. Oops. Wait. Dali. Na-close ko yung Okay, teka, check ko lang kung, yeah, so I need to share this again. Okay? Okay, so yan. Nakikita na. Okay, so, now, so, to get yung output dun sa Wheatstone Bridge, dapat kunin muna natin yung output at point B and yung output at point A. Now, tulad ng sinabi ko, dalawang linya ito ng tawag dito ng voltage divider. So, yung pangalawang linya ng voltage divider involves yung VB. Okay, so ito yung VB. Okay, so mas magiging obvious yun dito. Okay, so this is one voltage divider and this is another voltage divider. Now, to get VB, a VB is the output at point B with respect to ground. Okay, so VB, okay, based on our knowledge sa voltage divider is R4 divided by, oops, R4, okay, divided by yung sum ng resistance dito sa linya na to. R2 plus R4. And then yung input na voltage. Okay. Now, since parallel ito at saka ito, pareho lang ito dun sa input na voltage. Okay. In the same way, yung VA is, okay, makikita natin dito sa linya na ito. Okay. Ito yung point, itong point na to ay VA with respect to the ground. So VA ngayon is R3 divided by R1 plus R3. Okay, times yung input voltage na V in. Okay, so yung VAB ngayon, which is yung output ng Wheatstone Bridge, is equal to R4 over R2 plus R4 minus R3 over R1 plus R3. Okay, times V in. Okay, now, itong Wheatstone Bridge na to ay maraming applications. And one of the applications involves having an output that is equal to zero. Okay, so one of the applications is when the output is equal to zero. Or in other words, VAB is equal to zero. And if that is the case, then ibig sabihin, um, R4 over R2 plus R4 ay equal sa R3 over R1 plus R3. Okay, or kung babalik na rin natin, pwede naman natin gawin yan, R1 plus R3 over R3 ay equal sa R2 plus R4 over R4. Ito R3 over R3, so that's 1 plus R1 over R3 equals sa 1, R4 divided by R4 plus R2 over R4. Okay, and syempre magka-cancel yung 1. Okay, cancel yung 1. And what we are left with is R1 over R3 ay equals sa R2 over R4. Okay, so this is the case when the output voltage of the Wheatstone bridge is equal to zero. Okay, when the output voltage is equal to zero, we say that the bridge is balanced. Okay? And marami applications na kung saan nga yung output voltage na yan, yung Wheatstone bridge na yan is balanced. Okay, so what you do here is to determine yung R1, yung resistances na R1, R2, R3, R4 such that mababalance out yung bridge. And it's easy to design that kasi ito lang yung kailangan nyo i-consider na equation or actually ito. Yan yung kailangan yung i-consider na relationships between the resistances. Okay? Okay, so let's consider this example. So determine the value of Rx in the balanced bridge shown in figure 36. Okay, the bridge is balanced V out, in other words, V out is equal to 0 volts when RV, okay, is set at 1,200 ohms. Okay. Ano yung um, okay, so ano yung tawag dito? Um, First of all, tatanungin ko kayo, familiar ba kayo rito? Kung ano yung ano na yan, kung ano yung circuit element na yan. Thumbs up kayo kung familiar or thumbs down kung hindi. Okay. So, okay. So may mga hindi familiar, may mga familiar. Okay. Pero familiar ba kayo sa term na potentiometer? Thumbs up kung familiar or thumbs up kung hindi. Okay, sige. So kung familiar kayo sa potentiometer, then you're actually familiar with that type of circuit. Kasi potentiometer yan. Di ba? So ang potentiometer, di ba, ang schematic na potentiometer ay ganyan. Okay? So ito yung inputs and then ito yung sorry, ito yung output. Okay? And then dito nyo ilalagay ito yung input dito. So ito yung Vin and then ito ay reference. And then dito nyo nila ina-adjust yung potentiometer. And actually a potentiometer is a voltage divider circuit. Right? Kasi ina-adjust nyo yung resistance, di ba? Yung resistance value dito. Binabago nyo yung resistance dito at saka dito. And then you get the output from one of the resistors. So a potentiometer is a simple voltage divider. Okay, so anyway, okay, this specific potentiometer is set to 1,200 ohms. So gusto nyo malaman kung ano yung Rx such that um, yung circuit is balanced. Okay? And yung equation na gagamitin nyo dyan is quite simple. Di ba? Titignan nyo lang yung ratio ng R1 to R3 at dapat equal siya sa ratio ng R2 to R4. Okay? So ano yung ratio na titignan natin sa case na to? It's the ratio. Okay. Oops. Ay. Uy. Nangyari. Sorry. Anyway. So anyway, it's the ratio of Rx to RV at dapat equal siya sa ratio ng R2 to R4. Okay, ang ratio ng R2 tsaka R4 is 1.5. So dapat ang Rx over RV ay equal din sa 1.5. Okay, so R2 over R4 is 1.5. Ang RV is 1.2 kilo ohms. So ang Rx nyo dapat is 1.8 kilo ohms para itong Wheatstone bridge na to ay maging balanced. Okay? So, yan yung isang example. Okay. Now, sabi dito, related problem, if RV is adjusted to 2.2 kilo ohms, then what is Rx? So, ganun din, Rx is equal to 2,200 ohms, okay, times 1.5, so that's 3.3 kilo ohms. Okay? So, yan yung Rx. Okay. Sige. Um, I think that's it for now. Okay, for today and on Wednesday. Okay, tawag dito, we're going to meet again online. And then sa Friday, um, tawag dito, hindi tayo mag-meet. Wala tayong meeting sa Friday. Then, yung Wednesday after that, face-to-face na yung meeting natin. Okay? So, kung wala nang tanong, then thank you for coming. Again, welcome back sa first semester and I'll see you again online on Wednesday.